In order to be a successful referee in any form of professional sports, it's necessary to not only understand the game, but to have the ability to be unbiased. It's important to be ethical and true when it comes to making calls and giving both sides a potential to win the game and have an even match. Tim Donaghy was an NBA official for 15 seasons. In these seasons, he officiated 772 regular season games and 20 playoff games. Because of his longevity, he gained a very good reputation from coaches, players, and staff before losing it all in 2007. Donaghy was involved in one of the biggest sports scandals in history. Sports betting became legal in 2018, however, others were participating in the event illegally beforehand. Donaghy was caught sports gambling in 2007 on games that he was officiating in. Karen Newman states that he developed a gambling addiction that led him to provide insider information to gamblers, affecting the outcomes of NBA games he officiated. He had the power in his hands of making calls, and he was unethically making wrong calls just to benefit him so he could hit for a large payday. This chart shows the projections of revenue for the sports gambling world in billions of dollars. It was projected in 2028 that we as Americans would invest $10.1 billion in revenue to the sports betting world. However, research was conducted, and by 2023 we have already surpassed this number. It was conducted that $10.9 billion were sent to the gambling books. Americans send their hard-earned money to these companies hoping for a larger payday, but it's hard to trust anybody who's unethical because they're going to do what benefits them. CBS Sports released that after he was caught, he was sentenced to a max of 25 years in prison for conspiracy to engage in wire fraud and transmitting wagering information. He was later released on a $250,000 bond. This made the NBA really crack down on who they hired as officials and made them investigate a little bit more on the legalization of gambling and the gambling side of the world. This overall changed the way that sports are watched. Now, instead of watching for your team, you're watching who can score points or what team's going to win so your parlay can hit. Tim Donaghy was absolutely not successful doing his job as he was doing it wrongfully and unethically. However, in a way, he scared other referees from committing the same crime. Since he was caught, no other referee has been investigated for this crime. Most games are fairly officiated with the least amount of bad calls that they can potentially make. Tim Donaghy was overall not successful at his job, as mentioned, but he helped the sports world revolutionize.